and welcome to Abstract Essay. Yay!
We are back.
We're back, people. We're back, and thank you so much for waiting for us. We want to give us a big applause for us because we're back.
I need that button. I don't have
Yes,
one.
yes. And then let's do have a drum roll too. Drum roll
Oh,
and here we go. Mr. Sal Cosenza, my co-host. How's life, Mr. Sal?
it's gone at 100 miles an hour, Daniel. How about you?
I think faster than light.
Faster than a speed. Oh, you're at light speed, huh?
Light
You're
speed indeed.
past light speed.
Yes. And I'm so busy for this month because I cater like 150 authors to be on Book 101 review, which is my logo right now.
Yeah, that's
I need,
incredible.
yes, I need to change the logo. How about
Oh,
you, Mr. Sal? What make you busy for the last month?
well, I finished out my semester at ASU for I teach interior design, history, and studio classes, and so we had a ton of final reviews the past couple weeks. It's a high stress period for everyone, right, including the students. But I think that the work that we showcased, and it's in the building in Arizona in Tempe right now. It's on display. I think the work that you see and that the students produce was really exceptional. And in many ways, you can see the hard work that they put into it, right? And so we had students designing a mall, a shopping mall of the 21st century. We had them designing a hotel of the 21st century, and then and adaptive reuse of an old abbey in Phoenix, Arizona. So those are the three studios that I co-taught rather, and then I taught a history course where we covered everything from Rococo to Art Deco to current movements like deconstructivism. So it was a busy semester. I'm glad to say I survived. Thank goodness. I'm teaching one summer course right now, but it's not as heavy as a load. Thank goodness. And I've been painting. I started a new one. It's been over a year, Daniel, since I since I touched any of these brushes. You know, so
Congratulations. We're
um,
gonna give you a big hand for that.
I felt
Woo!
like when I was holding this, I felt like Luke Skywalker in the movie when he had the lightsaber and he was like,
What? Is it?
exactly.
Yeah, it's about time, Mr. Salt, to do again another great painting.
I hope it turns out great. We'll see. But I'm really excited about it. So the reason and here's a little sneak peek of it behind me. It's going to be a Western themed piece. And so there's an upcoming event happening at Art One Gallery in Scottsdale, Arizona. So for those who are zonies, check it out. For those who are planning to visit Arizona, if you're here on June 14th, that's right around the
Yes,
corner.
June 14, people.
June 14th from 12 to 3 p.m. Art One is calling it the Arizona Light and Color Show. And what they've done is they've asked all of their represented artists, myself included. I've been there for 20 years now. I can't believe it. But they're asking all their represented artists to produce a new painting for this show. And the work has to sort of celebrate Arizona in some way. So it could be its amazing sunsets, it could be its biodiversity, it's cacti, it could be the culture. So, and I love Arizona sunsets and I love saguaro cacti. I think that the saguaro is an amazing symbol of the desert. It's unfortunately endangered.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
so actually, I saw an article this morning that within the Phoenix metropolitan area, there are no there's no documented new saguaro being born. So it's frightening, and the reason mainly is climate change. So that the extreme heat in Arizona, which leads to wildfires, and we saw it in California. We're seeing it right now in Arizona. Another unfortunate side effect of extreme heat is that the saguaro just cannot make it. Right, so even the saguaro, this icon of the desert, is struggling right now. Um,
For
so
climate
I
change.
wanted to sort of honor it in some sort of way through painting. So that's what you kind of see here, starting in the back, um, combined with my sort of surreal heartscapes, those sort of floating pink heart spaceships. So it's a mix of Western, like a traditional Western painting mingled with sci-fi. And I think that,
Sci-fi.
yeah,
Awesome.
like kind of like the movie Cowboys and Aliens, right? It was like a mix of a classic Western with sci-fi elements. So I think that's what I'm going for here. And I did, as usual, I produced a sketch, um, sort of to get my idea across. But I'm really happy with how it's coming out. So it should be done later this week.
Yes.
And then I'm excited to see what my colleagues and fellow art friends are producing. So this show, again, it's going to be interesting. You're going to see work by everyone, all different perspectives and takes on what makes Arizona, incredible.
Incredible indeed. So, do you think, Mr.
Yeah.
Sal, how to preserve this nature
I
because of
think number
climate change?
one, through education, through awareness. We we at ASU, when we have them, for example, the hotel project I talked about that our students had to design, we have them first investigate what we call CCSIs, climate
Mm.
change sustainability issues. And so they have to identify, um, within Phoenix, within Arizona, what are some climatic or social issues impacting the city. So those could include anything from drought, lack of water, to wildfires, to also just social inequities, like in the hospitality industry and hotel design around the world. There's a great sort of abuse of employment. You
Yes.
know, the hospitality industry has a long sort of has a big responsibility to sort of improve itself, because you have things like human trafficking going through hotels. You have youth employment where which is good, but you also have hotels taking advantage of younger workers. So these are things, I think, through education and awareness. These are what we try to encourage our students to investigate and to explore, and hopefully they'll become stewards of, responsible design, right? So I think education and awareness is number one.
Indeed, people. Climate change is real because some of the people, they're not believing that there is a climate change. You can
Yeah.
see it, you can feel it through our climate right now.
Yeah, and right now it's what, May in Arizona, which, it's 100 and yesterday was 104 degrees Fahrenheit. So
You're
that,
kidding me.
yeah. S- So that's why I look a little flustered. Um, and it's happening earlier. The extreme heat is happening sooner, and it's happening for longer periods of time. Um, so it's definitely something that I think everybody is starting to notice around here. We're in an extreme area, right? The
Yes,
desert
yes.
the southwest of the United States um, is an extreme area, right? It's an arid climate. Um, so, it's sort of like ground zero for research, I think. Um,
It's double the temperature.
yeah, yeah. And I was born here, I was raised here, and even I'm having trouble dealing with the heat. But you know, but again, education and awareness. How about up where you are? Do you see any sort of indicators of climate behaving weirdly?
Yes, because here in British Columbia, every summer they are burning forest wildfire everywhere, which is usual to them because every summer. In California too, because they are
Mm.
this neighbor, so wildfire is normal right now. The new trends for climate change, and even in the Philippines, because I went in the Philippines, the weather, or really the temperature, is double when we are
Oh,
younger, right?
jeez.
And it seems that Mother Earth is in fever. Uh,
Yeah.
Earth fever, as they
No, that's
said.
a really good way to put it.
Mm. We need we need to have a solution, especially all the countries involved. All the countries involved. We need to
Mhm.
unite and combat climate change,
Yeah, and it
especially the
starts
government.
it starts at home. It starts with what we do with waste, right? Like the fact that I live in a city where recycling is is a luxury, and
Yes.
it's unbelievable. It sickens me actually to think that in the 21st century that recycling is still optional. I think that recycling should be, really strict.
Mandatory. Yes.
Yeah. And
It's
I
a
work at
mandatory.
ASU. ASU is really good about it because it's a university. So they have different compartments for different types of waste. They have like so I almost said solids. No, they don't have a compartment for solids, Daniel. But
Solid waste.
that's a different kind of compartment.
so
Uh,
they So do you think, Mr. Sal, in honoring climate change, the pain that you have now, right now,
hmm.
would you have a follow up for this?
I really like painting in this way and this subject matter. I love painting saguaro cacti, and I really am having a ball creating this painting. So yeah, I think we'll see how it does. We'll see what kind of reaction it gets. Um, but I would like to maybe as one option produce a giant one after this because this one is I think 36 inches by 24 inches. Maybe I'll go bigger for the next one. Um, but yeah, I like the subject matter. It's something that's sort of within my wheelhouse, and I enjoy creating these sort of strange heart-shaped spaceships. What are these? What are these ships? Are they trying to tell us something? Um, that's for the viewer to decide. For me, it's kind of like they're a reminder that all you have to do is look up, and then maybe some sense of hope will come. That's why I have this sort of cowboy, like the classic Americana, classic
Yes.
cowboy sort of looking over out in the horizon, and then you see these strange ships sort of appearing. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Did I answer your question?
Yes,
Do you think
indeed.
I should
Some,
continue these?
yes. You need to continue in favor of climate change. We need to preserve those uh, not ancient,
Mhm.
landscape that our generation can see also.
For sure. And this piece is celebrating the saguaro cactus. And throughout Arizona's history, indigenous people have honored the saguaro.
Uh-huh.
Some tribes view the saguaro as sort of a remnant of their ancestors. So there's a great importance Like if you go down in Tucson, Arizona, there's the Saguaro National Monument.
for
Um, and
them.
they talk about the whole history of the saguaro, what it means to the state of Arizona, what it means to indigenous cultures, and it's truly a you know a unique plant. I believe it's unique to this region also. So it needs to be celebrated. It needs to be respected, and we have to figure out how to keep its population,
Grow.
going. Because right now it
Yes,
is struggling.
totally true because of the climate change.
So who the hell are we going to talk to? We got to figure out the
Let's talk
UN.
to
I
the
don't know.
let's talk to the president.
Yeah, I think I don't know if that'll go through, but
Let's fund the preservation of this plant because we need it as
yeah, and it's truly one of the things that makes Arizona a special place to
unique.
live. Yeah.
Mm.
Um, and it takes like 40 to 60 years to
To
grow
grow?
just one arm.
Really?
So it needs to first sprout. It needs to grow for 60 years, and then only then will it start to grow any
Again.
one of its famous arms. Yeah. So it's a long process,
Wow.
in a very fast-paced world.
We need to preserve that plant.
Yes, I agree.
60
We
six
need to take
years.
this on the road.
We need to have this advocacy to prevent those not that only plants, also animals. Lots of animals now having a
Mhm.
stink because of climate change.
I mean, I have more depressing news if you want. With
Go
Arizona,
ahead.
the desert, I'm told that the desert is being swallowed up by construction at the rate of 1 acre per every hour.
Oh
So
wow.
imagine, 1 acre, what would be compared to that? Like the size of a baseball field or something? Um, every hour, one of those gets taken up by
Constructions.
pavement, asphalt, construction. So Arizona, it's the fifth largest city, fifth or sixth, I think is the fifth
If yes.
largest city in the United States. And that comes at a cost because again, it's a very arid area. It's not a place that is burgeoning with water, for example, right? So people are not going to stop moving here. So we have to figure out how do you manage it responsibly? How do you live in a place that is essentially not meant for a metropolis,
Mm,
right? Where
yes.
this it's not really designed to be a metropolis. So, but it's too late to change it. So we're kind of in this weird moment. We have to really design more responsibly.
Indeed, for our generation to generation to come, let's preserve those plants or animals that we think that they are losing hope because of climate
Mhm.
change.
And
And
and if they lose hope, we lose hope eventually, right? The chain reaction.
true.
Like if every time a species goes under, it inadvertently affects another species, which if you go up the food chain, it will inadvertently affect us. If are we on top of the food chain? I guess.
That's
Assuming we are.
that's why we need scientists or think like Einstein to go beyond our planets because sooner or
Mhm.
later we will be extinct.
I think if we operate at the rate we're operating under, yes. I think
Mm.
that we need to put politics aside. We need to put all sorts of things aside and just try to agree and talk for once, right? Um, as a society and say, all right, these are obvious problems. We need to address them. But it's not
Yes,
being done. It's being done in drips and drabs, right?
yes.
So Um,
We need to go beyond our planet, people, or our solar system. Not given beyond on Mars.
yeah, and I would hate that we destroy this planet first, though. I it at the rate we're going, it's kind of like we're destroying this planet, and then we're going to need to colonize another planet. But
Mm,
it's not too late. We can still try to leave this place better than when we first came into it.
yes,
But
save the Mother Earth while
oh my gosh,
we can.
we
Oh,
could. And one of my really dear friends, he's a landscape architect, and he does have a hopeful take on it. He said the earth repairs itself, so
yes, like us.
over time. So sometimes it's easy to get into the like, oh, we're destroying the planet, but we're destroying the first layer of the planet. um, the earth will eventually reclaim that layer, but
Mm,
we could still change our ways right now. Like, there's no reason why we should not. And it starts at home. It starts with recycling, right? It starts with um, not being such. Tell me when to stop, Daniel, but I'm on a roll here. Not
go
being
ahead.
so consumer driven. Like, I mean, yeah, this is outdated, but I have an iPhone 10. You
iPhone
know,
10.
do I need the iPhone 16? Not necessarily.
Mm,
Like,
yeah.
I don't, I'm not going to get it just because it's new and it's out there if my iPhone 10 is still working perfectly. Right. So, I think there are just decisions we should make individually, um, to sort of help, solve this issue.
Yes, indeed. So, Mr. Sal, what would be the title of a new painting of yours?
I'm going to call it Desert Heartscape,
Wow.
because a landscape is a landscape, but a
Yes.
landscape with heart-shaped spaceships is called a heartscape,
Mm.
right? So, and then it's set in the desert. That's the working title. If something else comes to me, I'll let you know. Or if
But
you have
it's
suggestions, let me know.
it's awesome. The title is awesome.
Thanks.
Keep it that way. And what do you think will be the next painting of yours honoring climate change?
I've got one that's going to, well, so I'll see how this one does. If it does well, then I'll do some follow-ups to it, just to sort of honor the desert, celebrate what makes Arizona interesting, and sort of intertwine it with the sci-fi element. I do have another idea, which is all about democracy, which is another, in my opinion, a fragile element right now, um, socially. So I'm going to do a painting that sort of honors democracy. Um, that's all I could say for right now. But it's gonna be
Democracy.
big. Every time I do a painting, I'm like, why can't I just make like something that's quick, and I spend
Easy to
four
do.
days on it, and it just,
That's it.
like, it never works. It's always a big production. And I realized, okay, this is who I am. I
So
just have to accept it.
so your next painting about democracy, is it preparing for July Independence Day in
Oh my
America?
gosh, that's way too soon. I don't like that deadline. I
It's like
need,
one month.
yeah, well, this one is on a deadline, and it is nice to work on a deadline, actually, because it got me painting.
Yes.
But I don't want to make a habit out of it. Out of
Proc-
it.
if you don't
Um,
have a deadline, you always procrastinate, right?
I take my time. I'll put it this way. Some
You
of the paintings you
procrastinate.
some of the paintings you've seen of mine in the past have taken 7 years,
7 years,
right?
yes.
And so
Yes.
obviously no deadline, but it's nice to work on a deadline too, because it really, like, gives you structure. But yeah, I don't know when that other one's going to be finished. Hopefully this year. But
Crossing my finger, Mr. Saul, so that we can feature on Abstract Essay.
I'll keep you
And
posted on it for sure.
yes, and before we wrap up our discussion, Mr. Sal, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people, my other podcast, because our abstract essay is already in fifth season, and abstract poetry in second season, and of course my book 101 review in fifth season as well. Comedy 101 in second season. Please do visit our Comedy 101 podcast because we are teaching you how to be a comedian. My co-host, Mr. Bob Lemon, teaching me how to be a comedian, and I'm so horrible to it. I want to be
No.
a comedian, but well, I'm trying my best. So, Food 101 in its fifth season, two people, Geography 101 in fourth season, Love Letters in third season, and my baby podcast, Mental Health 101, Movie 101 review, and Music 101 in its fifth season. I know, third season, sorry, and Science 101 and Sex 101 in its first season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. Mr. Sal, would you like to plug in something?
I just want to say you've got a mood for every, you've got a flavor for every mood with these podcasts. So yeah, definitely folks, check them out. Book 101 is number one right now.
Yes,
So
indeed.
so
Yes.
check it out.
Check it out. And Mr. Sal, please do promote your book,
My book
Manhattan
is
Rising.
Yeah, my book is coming up on its 1 year anniversary. So I'm gonna hope to put together some things about that. Stay tuned. But yeah, it's available. It's called Manhattan: The Rising War. Manhattan: The Rising War. It is on Amazon. It's on Changing Hands Bookstore, Barnes and Noble. Um, Let me know if you like it, and I'll write
Yes.
another one. No.
Yes, please, people, let's support Mr. Sal Zanza. Manhattan Rising, because if you support, more and more and more
Yeah.
empowering books to come for sure, and the painting itself, and your website, Mr. Sal, so that they can visit your paintings.
Thank you. My website is salcasenza.com. You will see much of my work. You will get sort of behind the scenes images, links to our podcast here, Abstract Essay, and a lot of other interesting stuff. So check it out and feel free to message me. I always like to know what you're working on. Daniel and I want to hear from you. So
Yes, people, yes, please do participate to our podcast. Ask the question do you want, or suggest what topics do you want, or suggest to Mr. Sal what paintings you want to be painted.
yeah, and
I
or even like what paintings are you working on? Or, like we want to foster, I think, a creative community, right,
Yes,
as much as
indeed.
possible. So it
Yeah.
starts with an army, an army of creatives.
Creative, yes, people. If you have the passion to write or talents to paint or whatever talents that you have, please share to the world and let's talk about it under the sun. Or we're on abstract essay for sure.
Yes,
So, Mr. Sal, thank you so much for your time.
Daniel, it's always a treat. Have a great week. Thank you, everybody.
Modicon people, see you soon.